Hickory Grove Baptist Church, and we're so glad you've come to worship with us. Have a wonderful service, I believe, in store for us today. And I think the Lord's going to bless in a special way. Very different service, but one in which we'll be able to remember 10 years ago today about 9/11. But before we get into all of that, we have a couple of really, really important announcements we want to make sure we tell you about. We have a great event we've been praying about, Reveal 2011.
That's right.
Starts tonight.
It does. We've been talking about it for a while, and here it is upon us. And kicking off tonight at Simon Kenton Auditorium, and we're really excited about it. It's going to start at 7 o'clock tonight, and it's going to be also Monday night and Tuesday night until about 8:15 each night. And really what it is, we're calling it the Northern Kentucky Youth Conference, but it's just an opportunity to clearly communicate the gospel, to see lost students and adults, for that matter, to come to know Christ, and also just to see a revival within the heart of us Christians as well, and getting on board with what God's doing and how He wants to use us. And so be praying about that. If you can't do anything else, really be praying, because that's a very important thing too. We're going to pray for God to really move and see some decisions made. But there are some other ways that you can help out as well. Starting today, we got to get some sound equipment, some other things loaded up and headed on over to the high school. So if you could meet here at the church, some of you, at 2:30. Anybody can help out with that. We're going to need some muscle, strong back, and weak minds.
That's right.
Signing up for that.
That's right.
Moving some equipment. That's right. Moving some equipment over there. And then if you can't be here, then at 3 o'clock the doors will be open at Simon Kenton, so we can start setting up. We're going to have a set design. We're going to set up sound. Just really try to make it just a great event for students to come to and invite their friends to. And also another very important role that you can play is being an invitation counselor. We're anticipating God to really move in students who are going to be needing to make decisions and someone to talk to. So if you're comfortable doing that, we'll want to be there, even if it's only one night, or if you're able to do it all 3 nights. Just contact me, or just show up each night ready to minister to students that make decisions at the end of each night's service. We're really pumped about it.
Absolutely. It's going to be awesome. So make sure you're a part of that. One last thing we want to tell you about is you've heard us talk about LifeLink, which happens on September 25th. It's an opportunity for you to get connected in a life group, and you may be sick of hearing me tell you about that, but I can't tell you how important it is to get connected with other believers and also joining together to grow together and do life together. It is so vital, and we want to encourage you to be a part of that. If you are not a part of a life group, or maybe you once were, but you've kind of fallen by the wayside and the group doesn't meet anymore, we want you to be a part of that. You can RSVP using one of the blue cards. We have blue cards at the Welcome Center. We had them in the bulletins last week. We got them in the pews. Get you a blue card, fill it out, and get that to us. Put it at the Welcome Center in the offering plate, or you can give it to one of our staff. If you can't even find a blue card, use the connection card in your bulletin. Put in your information, then write in the notes section, LifeLink, and we'll know that's an RSVP from you. Put that in the offering plate or get it to one of us, and we'll make sure that we count on you being there for a light lunch after the second service on September 25th. We got a lot of stuff going on. Check out your bulletin. We got a bulletin insert about World Craft Bazaar and lots of events, lots of things going on. Take that bulletin and read it. But as of right now, we just really want to prepare ourselves to worship. 10 years ago today, near around this time, we were having a lot of tragedy going on in our nation. And we want to take time to remember, not just to remember the lives that were lost, but to think about the work that God did in the midst of that tragedy. So let's be prepared to worship together doing that.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming to worship with us. God bless you.
Have a great one.
10 years ago was a different time. The economy was booming, 401ks were solid, and if asked, 8 out of 10 Americans wouldn't be able to define the word jihad. On that day, 10 years ago, something happened that changed everything. 10 years ago was a Tuesday. For most of us, our only connection to the events of that day was what we saw on television. However, we are all connected and that we all have a place. For some of us, it's a spot on the highway. For others, it's in an office or at coffee with a friend. It's the place we will never forget. The place where we watched it happen 10 years ago. So here we are, 10 years later, still hurt, still angry, still trying to understand why. 1 Corinthians 13 explains that we don't see things clearly right now. In essence, we just won't be able to understand in this lifetime things like what happened 10 years ago. However, it goes on to say that one day we will see all things clearly. But until that day comes, we have 3 things to embrace to help us in our reconciliation: faith in God, unswerving hope, and love. And the greatest of the 3 is love. Through the shock and the horror, something else happened 10 years ago. Although the evil intentions appeared to be a success, our country embraced the complete opposite of what was intended. Instead of division, there was unity. Instead of confusion, there was clarity. And instead of falling apart, we banded together. But then again, that's the way one nation under God will always respond.